Right. Taking a look at our 124 ABARTH manual transmission Spider. This is a new one that we just got. This car started out completely stock with 200 miles on the odometer, and we have very quickly taken it from stock to highly modified. The car currently has our V4 intake, front mount intercooler, oil catch can. We also have a phase 2 tune on the car. We have a forged atmospheric blow-off valve, and most notably, we've got our bigger turbo. Now the question is how did we get here? And we're going to show you how we got here. And we're going to take you back about 2 weeks ago when we had the car completely stock, nothing done to it whatsoever, and we put it on the dyno, and then we took it to the quarter-mile drag strip to see exactly what was putting out. And a quick disclaimer too. That day was ridiculously hot and we had a lot of humidity, so we did the best that we could with what we had. Yep, I should have worn sunscreen.
This line here represents the stock boost curve, and this is pretty typically what we see in these cars. It runs 18 pounds. Here it's a little over 19, so it's a little over 19 throughout most of the meat of the RPM range, say 3,500 to 5,000, at which point it starts to drop, and at 5,500 it's down to a little below 17 pounds, and by 6,000 it's at about 13.9. And then it continues to drop, and at, in this case, 6350, it's down to 11.1 psi. So the range in this particular run was about 19 pounds down to about 11 pounds. Now the ECU will vary that a little bit. There are times it'll run 21 or even 22 pounds under certain conditions, but under these conditions, it's running a peak stock tune 19 pounds dropping to 11. We get a lot of questions about the difference between sport mode and non-sport mode in the 124 ABARTH. Sport mode gives you a little more power, especially in the lower mid-range area. You can see up at the high end, peak horsepower is essentially the same. Say it's about 143 in non-sport mode at the wheels, and about 144 in sport mode at the wheels, maybe almost 145. And that 2 horsepower difference could just be a run-to-run variation or temperature or something. Essentially, they run the same maps at the high end. But at the low end and mid-range, you notice that there is a significant difference. The 124 ABARTH has quite a bit more torque in this range. For example, here at 3,500 RPM, it's got 182 at the wheels versus 165. And the reason for that is because it runs more boost. The 124 in non-sport mode is running 18.9 pounds, and in sport mode it's running 21.3. The official maximum boost on these cars in stock form is 22 psi. You do see that sometimes, but ABARTH sport mode, 21 psi is very commonly a high number, and in non-sport mode, about 19 is very commonly the high number. So in sport mode, it's running 21 pounds of boost from nominally 3,200 RPM up to about 4,300 RPM. And then it starts to drop down, and you can see the boost curves match each other almost identical.
Alright, so we've got some baselines for the car on our dyno, and next we're going to take it to the drag strip. Now on this particular day we had ambient temperatures probably close to about 100 degrees. It's been really hot here lately. In fact, I think today is 101. And actually you can see on the dash, we have a shot of that later in the video, even at like 10:30 at night it was still 93 degrees outside, I think. So we had really high temperatures and also really high humidity working against us, but nevertheless we run the car and see what it does under these conditions. Unfortunately for us, all the work that we do later on and as we build the car, we're going to be testing under similar heat and conditions. To add to our problems, we had a little issue with the anti-theft system and the key immobilizer. Apparently there's some preparation that needs to be done, and it pretty much prevented Greg from turning off the car while sitting in the staging lane. I'll let him explain more about that later. Remember kids, pollution is bad. I think he ran 9 seconds though.
Well, this is our brand new 2017 124 ABARTH. It's one of the last 2017s at the dealer. We got the car last night. We're here at the drag strip tonight. The car did about a 15.7, which may not sound too good, but it corrects to about a 15.2 because it's a very hot night, low pressure, high humidity. According to the drag times calculator, it works out to about 15.2, which is a little off the stock times, but I'm not too unhappy with that. I'm a bigger guy, I'm fairly heavy, it's got a full tank of gas, or nominally full. And the other thing is that the dealer forgot to do the full dealer prep, and thus the car thinks it's stolen. See the little red key symbol with a exclamation point through it? That's the car being very unhappy. So I don't dare shut it off because sometimes it won't restart unless I disconnect the battery and touch the key to the start button and go through the procedure. And then sometimes it's very finicky and I don't want it to not start in the staging lane. So it typically has to idle for 20 minutes, heating up, then do the run, and it's already heat soaked. So getting a great time out of it was just not going to happen tonight. But still, we had a good time and corrected to 15.2 for a car that's brand new and not even broken in. I don't think it's too bad.
Our times weren't ideal, but we did the best with the conditions that we had to work with. It does level the playing field for us as we go on and test and build the car with the other parts we're going to be putting on, like the bigger turbo and the V4 intake and the intercooler, etc. In the next few videos we're going to be installing the V4, an oil catch can, and some other parts, and we're going to be dynoing the car in sections as we go. Coming up, we also are going to be putting the bigger turbo on the car and dynoing the car with the stock tune. As always, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff. We'll catch you later.